Hello there. How many times did that lying Keir Starmer say he was going to smash the gangs? And now we see the truth. Apart from the £22 billion black hole, Labour's most used phrase before and after the last general election was, smash the gangs. How many times have we heard that one? Speech after speech and interview after interview, Keir Starmer kept repeating the lie.
Now, as the UK's Prime Minister, it is my personal mission to smash the people smuggling gangs. And look, that starts here in the UK.
Yes, it starts in the UK. And why do I call it a lie? Because we now hear that his woke, wet, lefty Labour government is about to make it easier for illegal immigrants to gain British citizenship by getting rid of the already weak laws that the previous Tory government put in place. Yes, that pull factor has just been given a massive boost. Even more people from across the world who we know nothing about will be doing all they can to enter into the land of milk and honey, knowing they can then enjoy the high life while waiting for their family reunification papers to go through and welcome them here as well. With just about zero chance of ever being forced out, whatever they get up to. I don't care what the limp-wristed hand-wringers say, I do not want to be taken on this mega-expensive internationalist ride any longer. But worse, Angela Rayner is going to bring in a new blasphemy law that will make it all but impossible to argue against any of this. And that blasphemy law will create many more Batley teachers, people who have to go into hiding, fearing for their lives because they broke that blasphemy law. And more children in school having to get the prayer mat out to prove their inclusive credentials, or face the wrath of the local police and leaders of a certain religion. And the state will be on the side of those threatening the violence, instead of on the side of those exercising their free speech. In the same way they were on the side of the groomers and not their innocent little victims. Free expression is about to be smashed against the altar of multiculturalism in the favour of the establishment uniparty's now preferred demographic. Do not listen to their words. Look at what they do. Keir Starmer has virtually zero interest in smashing the gangs. He and his misbegotten party have every intention of smashing our borders wide open. And all we hear are the same weasel words that it takes more time and more money to deal with, that Rome wasn't built in a day, etc., etc., etc. When successive Labour, coalition and even Tory governments, and now another Labour government, have made promise after promise after promise. And all we've witnessed is a continually ramping up in illegal and irregular migration. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If they thought they could get away with it, the establishment would lay on free ferries for all newcomers at the taxpayers' expense. But not just Channel ferries, oh no. They would also lay them on directly from places like Africa too. About 150,000 people have come across in small boats alone since 2018. More than enough to fill Blackpool. I keep saying it. Do not listen to what politicians say. Look at what they do. And since Tony Blair ruinously opened our borders, every government since has done all it can to keep them growing ever wider. Yes, they'll point at some of the laws they've passed and say, aren't we doing a good job? But those laws always stumble at some human rights point, don't they? Almost as if it's pre-planned to do so. Oh, our hands and the hands of the courts are tied by some or other now out of date take the UK for a ride convention, they wail. Scrap 'em all, I say. Or some new minister comes along and changes it all again, just so the whole machinery of importing ever more people can continue powering the escalator. With the inevitable result that our borders grow more and more porous by the day. The criminal gangs get wealthier, legal and illegal immigration rockets, and the integrated population has to pick up the tab and never ever complain, for fear of tripping over a blasphemy law. And our ministers have ensured that Whitehall is chock-a-block full of those that are extremely eager for the destruction of our nation-state to continue apace. Oh, and the use of this phrase, irregular migration versus illegal migration, is not a new thing. No, it's not new. It was going on for years under the Tories too. This is the header for the government report on illegal migration in March 2024, prior to the general election. And it goes back years, if you care to look. Please realise, people, they are all the same, the Lib-Lab Green Con Uniparty establishment. For them, diversity is everything. They want to force the UK, without asking us, to reflect the global population, where whites only make up 8 to 10%. And that can only have one outcome here in the UK. And now we have Angela Rayner signing off on council tax rises of 10%. Presumably there are a lot of newcomers to house for free. But this is what Keir Starmer said about council tax back in 2023.
We need to be clear about council tax. Labour would freeze council tax next year using that windfall tax that hasn't been collected. Yes, you heard it right. Not a penny more on your council tax. Not a penny more than the bill you paid last year. And that is a tax cut for the 99% of working people.
That does seem to have been inadvertently deleted from his memory chip, doesn't it? But I suppose there are too many black holes to fill. Hence the council tax rises of 5 to 10% across the land coming and hitting us in April. This will hit pensioners hard, but Labour does not care. Can you imagine the fallout had they gone ahead with their proposals to scrap the 25% council tax relief for single home occupancy? With every day that passes, I hate what this ideologically driven uniparty establishment is foisting upon us. And if this continues for another 4 years, it will be bad enough. But if the uniparty gets re-elected in 2029, it's over for this once proud nation and the descendants of the people who built it, fought for it, and died for it.